Small Talk. Hey, what's up, y'all? We're back with part 2 of Small Talk, where we have our 3 queens, our 2 kings, 5 perspectives. Asia, what we get into today?
So we are going to talk about the 50-50 rule. When do we split the bill? What is that all about?
Good decision. Okay, Sabine, I'm gonna toss this one over to you. First of all, how do you feel about the 50-50 rule?
So let me ask a question before I answer. So when we ask about 50-50, are we just talking like food, or are we talking like utilities, or what are we talking about exactly?
So you know what? Let's do this. Let's start with a first date first.
Okay.
First date, boom, he picks you up, does everything right. The bill comes, and he looking at you, you looking at him like, who about to pay this bill? 50-50? Should you go 50-50 or?
Really looking at you?
He better not be looking at me. No, I'm not paying half. Because if I pay half, that will probably be the last date. I think, especially if he asked me on a date, I think it's his due diligence to pay for the date. You should come fully funded if you are asking me out on a date. Now, if we're going as friends and I have to pay my half, that's a different story. But if you are pursuing me, no, I think you need to be paying for the dinner.
Man, how y'all doing?
You want to start with this one, Mary Man?
No, you got this.
All right. I'll start with this one. To be honest, I mean, if I'm asking you out on a date, I fully expect I'm paying for it. I've definitely have had women in the past be like, hey, I would feel more comfortable just splitting the bill this first time for various different reasons. And that doesn't bother me. If that's what they want to do, I'm not going to fight you over it, because for some of them, it's different reasons. But as a man, if I'm asking you out, I'm going to pay the bill.
On the
I
first
would
date.
think on that thing. Who asked, right? Like, I don't know about this new school dating, but if you ask, I would assume that you want to do something with that person. And if you want to do something with that person, you would likely plan what you're going to do. And so if I planned what we're going to do, I asked if you want to go, I planned where we're going. How do I expect you to pay for what we did? Right? Like, if you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, so even if she asked me on a date, like, I would only assume that, like, if she asked me on a date, like, hey, do you want to go to such and such with me? I would already had assumed that, like, you probably got tickets to something, or like it's something that you already have. But I can't imagine, maybe go back to part 1, Gio, when you were talking about ego. I still I've been married for 13 years, right? I still to this day, if we're going out, I'm paying. If I forgot my wallet, right, I got to go to the car. Like, even if you got yours, I get it. It's just like a thing. It's not but I get what Gio's saying, right? I'm not, I get what Gio said. If a woman in 2021, if you're paying for everything, there may come an expectation. I think that may be like an expectation comes. Like, if you're paying for dinner, you may expect something from me. So let's just go half. But for me, and if I was in the dating scene today, if that's your perspective, then either I need to check myself because I gave you a wrong vibe, or you're a hyper vigilant woman that I really likely won't be able to vibe with long term anyway.
I can respect that. I definitely see it from that side too. But on the flip side, no hate towards women. Women will ask you on a date and then still expect you as the man to pay for it too, though, and then be mad when you be like, well, wait, you asked me to come here to hang out with you. I just said okay. So what if I left my wallet at home? You know what I mean? Like,
then you're not man enough to date me, because you should not.
Yeah, why are you leaving your wallet at home? I'm confused.
I didn't necessarily leave it at home. I'm saying, what if I did? I'm a man. I'm not broke. I'm always gonna bring my money with me because I got to be prepared for me. But if you ask me, like Kevin said, if you said, hey, let's Friday meet me here, let's do dinner at this place, and then you ask me to come out my pockets for it, I'm almost like, well, wait, I didn't ask you on this date because if I wanted to take you out, I would have asked you to go out with me, not the other way around.
So you're trying to finesse a free meal out of me, but I asked you because I wanted to spend time with you, because sometimes men don't do that enough, or we're sitting at home, or if I'm really interested in, let's talk about millennial dating, right? Nowadays, women approach men. They do it. If I approach you and I say, hey, let's go out on a date. Let's go to such and such. This is my favorite restaurant. You're saying, okay, cool. When the tab comes, I'm prepared, right? In my mind, I'm prepared. I agree. I asked you. However, men the first date, I feel like that's an automatic. If you don't reach for your wallet, even if you don't have it, if I see that you don't even reach for your wallet and offer to pay, that's a problem for me. Let me say, I got this one, or I got it, don't worry about it. But to me, if you let me—
Do you see where that's a setup? But do you see the setup in that? That's the setup.
In 2021, you could be finessed. Like, I can see a whole lot of nice guys getting finessed out of a whole lot of dinners. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just be honest. Like, I can see a guy, I can see in that situation that you're referring to, I can see me pulling out my wallet to pay for my dinner.
Yeah. I get that.
Right. I can see when the waiter says, is this one or two? I can see where you like, I'm gonna wait. If it depends on the situation. If I want to really holler at you and I'm like, oh my God, she hollered at me and I was really about to pursue her, then yeah, I win. I'm gonna do all of that. But if it was just like on some kickback, like on some, like I wasn't even thinking about it like that, and it was on some surprise, like, hi, I feel you, like, nah, I just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was about to say. I actually have an unpopular opinion on this, because me and my guy best friend, we were talking about this, and I was like, he was like, so Shorty asked me, she comes to me, asks me to go out. I'm minding my business. Is it wrong if I don't feel obligated to pay? And I'll be honest, I don't think he should pay. Like, in my mind, on a very serious tip, we can go 50-50, but think about this, right? How many women, and I'll speak for myself, matter of fact, I'll speak on me. How many times has a guy asked me out to eat? I have no interest in dating, oh boy. But will I get a free meal? Yup, sure will. I like food. And then I will kindly let him know, hey, this has been great, awesome, appreciate the meal, take care. So in my mind, on a very serious tip, I cannot expect for myself to come to a man who may or may not be interested in pursuing me, then for him to feel obligated to come out of his pocket to pay for something. For me,
I just feel like you should at least offer. In my past experience, there's been plenty of times where I'm not even, let's take out the dating thing. If it's like, hey, whatever, let's meet here over some lunch, a business meeting, right?
I'll pay. I'll pay for it because I want a business deal at the end. I'll pay.
Yeah, but like,
it's a benefit for me. I'll pay.
No. Even if you're not getting something out of it, like it's just like y'all work for the same team. Y'all got to go through some stuff. Whatever the tab comes, it's just a man and a female at a table having lunch, going over some notes or whatever.
That can be sexual harassment in 2021. I'm not paying.
Oh my Lord. Kevin, let her say her piece.
If it's sexual harassment,
no. I'm just saying, it's 2021. That could be sexual assault.
What are you gonna fill it up on the leg during the
No. Oh, he paid for me. He you never know, man. You never know.
I feel it, yeah.
I just feel like it is.
If we at work, I got a policy for that.
No, I can't tell you how many times I've gone out with like male coworkers on lunch to get a freaking bagel.
I've paid for y'all before, but that's different.
Yeah. That's different.
That's a man.
But Britt, we're talking about a platonic versus versus a romantic. This is like what you said. As a woman, if you ask me out and then going to be mad at I failed the test because I didn't pull my wallet out, good. You ain't the one for me anyway, because you shouldn't even have offered to take me out if you was going to pump fake and try to test me. I don't have time for that.
I just feel like you should have at least offered it. I'm not saying you have to pay for it, but at least you could be like, oh, I mean, attempt first. Don't let me just sit there.
I would have offered to take you on the date then.
And I ain't even what?
See my face.
See, listen, this is what you have to in this new 2021 thing, right? Like you said, the females are more bold. As a man, most of us men, we used to chasing, pursuing, courting, doing all that. So most of us men, if a woman has enough courage to come up to me and be like, "Look, young man, I think you look good. I'd love to buy you a drink, whatever." I'm gonna say yes just because you was brave enough to come over here and say something to me.
That's a fact.
Okay. I think where I can't relate is that I'm not asking out a man. I can't even, I'm not even in that position to like we're not gonna do the half and half thing because I'm not asking you out. I think I'm just gonna leave that role to him. If he wants to pursue me, then he will, and I'll take him up on the offer, and he's going to pay. I don't think I'm ever really going to ask a man out. I don't know. That's just weird to me. I don't think I've ever done it. If I have done it, it was like a platonic thing. It was like two friends, we're going to go out. So my expectation is already that you got your bill, I got my bill. And yes, it is appreciated if you offer to pay for it as a platonic outing. But I think when it comes to a actual date, yeah, I'm not even in the position to be like, hey man, let me take you out, or whatever they do. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, go ahead.
No, go Gio, go.
I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of the old school traditional dating rules has made it a little bit harder in 2021 to date, because the expectations, not that they're too high, because obviously any man is going to do what he wants for the woman he wants, but like I feel like there's so much ego involved on both sides. Like if you're a woman, like it doesn't hurt for you to walk up to the man and say like, hey, you know what I'm saying, I think you look good just the same way. There's so much pressure on us men to have to facilitate so much in the relationship that, you know, it almost leads to why men get fed up so fast and do things like that, because I got to court you. I got to take you on X amount of dates before you even think about buying or taking me on a date. You know what I mean? I have to pour out, and we get very little back in return sometimes. And so it's easy for men to just be like this, and that's why we are the way we are sometimes.
Keywords.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I get it. I get it. I don't know.
You married, so you've been out the game.
Yeah, I'm out the game.
For a long
You know
time
what I'm saying?
now.
I'm out. But I'm
You're
also
like Michael Jordan.
like, I'm kind of thinking about my daughters too, right? Like I think Sabine, like I'm more down there where I don't think it's a matter of tradition for me as much as I think it's a matter of character of the role. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not again, I was out the game early, so I don't know what it's like to be a serious, you know, dating and being played, and you know what I'm saying, like being played. I really don't. So that's one thing for sure, right? Like, but I do think that there's some. I get it. I think there's some importance still to just the character of. I wouldn't even know what it's like to have a woman be like, "Yo, I want to take you on a date." Like you said, like.
Yeah.
But it's not even necessarily. So it's not even necessarily the woman for me or like people that I have these conversations with. It's not even just saying, hey, the woman takes me on a date, but I can offer to take you on a date as a woman, and then you'd be like, nah, babe, I got this one. Like, you know what? You done took me on X amount of days. We done been out all these times. Like, I can get this one. You know what I mean? Even if it's a $20, $30.
Does that not happen? Because that didn't happen in my marriage, right? So my wife will say, yo, babe, like, listen, let's go out, right? I got this, right? She'll say that right now, and we've been married. So I get that, but it's not like she's not taking me. I guess she's technically taking me out on a date. We've been to talk about it, but she'd be like, yo, let's go, you know, she'll pay for it. So
Yeah,
but it's all, but you married, so it's all the same household anyway.
It's all right. I'm paying, you paying, who paying? Shit.
Yeah, it's coming out the same household. But I look at it as like, as a man, like a lot of, in the conversations I've had, a lot of women feel like it's a privilege for a man to be able to take them out. So it's like what are you doing for me as the woman? As the man, what are you doing as the woman to make me feel like you're actually interested in me other than letting me spend my money on you? Because that's not requiring. And I'm giving you my time. My time is just as valuable.
Yeah, but you asked me.
Yours.
But so like Aisha said, she just said yeah because she
that's
wanted
the
to
problem though. But see, that's the problem. Women feel like their time is more valuable than the man's time. I'm giving you my time just as much as you're giving me yours, and I'm spending money on top of that. I don't expect anything from you. But when does it become reciprocal? At what point is it like, you know what, this man has put this much effort, this much work into me for me to be like, I can spend $30, $40 on you on a date. This man then probably spent thousands of dollars on you. You know what I mean?
Reciprocated in other ways, or is this strictly like a money thing?
It's
because
not
it may be reciprocated if let's talk, like, let's be real, if she ends up having sex with you, granted, yes, I get 2 and 2, but is something like that considered being reciprocated because she put out, or if she cooked your dinner,
yeah, that was a mutual decision. Yeah, we both decided to have sex.
Okay, she cooks for you. Is that reciprocated, or you really just want her to pay $50?
No, but see, that's fine. If you go cook for me, perfect. I actually think it takes more effort for you to cook for me than it does for you to take me out. You're going to spend less money to cook, but you're going to take more effort. You're going to put more love into cooking the meal for me than you would taking me out. So I'm going to for sure take the home cooked meal and be like, bet, what we eating? Like, do I need a bib? What's that? You know what I mean? As long as you can cook, of course.
Yeah, but I think that's even at a certain, but this is just me thing. I think that's at a certain level, because if we're talking about first date stuff, I'm not cooking for you. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just me being, so in my mind, I do think that it can be reciprocated in other ways. Like, for instance, so most times, like, if I'm going out on a date or whatever the case may be, if he's paying, I'll pay for the tip. Like, I'll leave the tip, right? In my mind, it's like, hey, I am also invested. No, I'm not paying the whole thing. But don't worry, I'll pay cash for the tip, right? So in some ways, I do think that, yes, it can be reciprocated, right? But at the same time, I think some other reciprocations might come a little bit later, right?
Yeah, I agree. Levels.
Like with the cooking thing, yeah. And I do think that there are certain levels to it. So in my mind, it's like, and I do think it can go both ways in different. Yeah. So like, if the guy's pursuing me, then he's pursuing me. Right? It's like, sir, you came up to me and asked me to take me out on a thing. I am here giving you my time because that's what you asked for. I am here giving you conversation because that's what you asked for. You wanted that regardless. You're trying to figure out if that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the same way, if I'm asking you out, right? Then yeah, you are giving me your time. You are giving me this conversation. I'm trying to figure out if this is actually something that you want, or if it's just a free meal for you and you just didn't know or didn't know how to say no.
So I have a question.
I think it's oh no, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think it's a little odd when people say like, oh, I'm wasting my money on you and you can't reciprocate it. If you consider it a waste, why are we here? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how
because listen, I think what I heard Gio saying was, I need to know the reciprocate. Like, it's not the reciprocation that I would be looking for is not a monetary value. It's just, I need to know that you like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're vibing with me, like you are romantically attracted to me and you're invested in me. So
we're talking like, after the first date, because in the first date, you're not gonna get all that but my time. The fact that I actually accepted your offer to go on.
I think that we know, like, for instance, there's a situation that Asia said, I know 100% of the time, it's a 100% chance of no rain. Nothing. I don't like you. I'm not vibing with you. I'm not going to date you, but you asked me out to eat. So I'm going to say, yeah. What is the possible reciprocation that you can give other than leaving a tip? I reciprocated the day, boom, boom, basically 50-50. I'm gone. I get that, right? But I don't think that's what Gio was saying he's looking for. I'm thinking, if I'm on a date, if I ask you out on a date, that's because I like you. Fuck $50 or $75, $100 or $150. That ain't even a thing.
Not about the money,
I want you to smile at me. How many batting of the eyes? Like, are you interested in me? Like, are we like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there something there? Don't just be sitting there eating and giving me conversation, because shit, I could, like, we could go play video games and talk to the person on Fortnite for that.
You took a chance on that by you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a risk that you
That's
take.
a risk you're willing to take.
Absolutely.
If you are saying, let's go out, I'm actually gonna come to pursue you. Guess what? On this first date, that's what you're gonna figure out. If
Well, I be wondering what kind of
That's a risk
dudes
you
will,
take
I think-
on dating.
what kind of dudes will ask you out on the date blindly that there's no like you vibing. Like I had to get
Okay, no. Perfect. I'll say
like
just
I'm
like
asking you
this.
on a date.
If an attractive guy comes up to me, right? Wow, I like your outfit, so on and so forth. Small talk, whatever. Hey, maybe we should grab coffee. Okay, cool. Why?
How about that? I
Because
take you to
now
coffee.
I'm
I'll take
in
you
my
to coffee,
mind,
yeah,
I
for sure.
only know that you're attractive, and I only know what I see at that moment. That's all I know. So at that time, so I'm saying, you know what? Let me take time out of my day because you did approach me, right? So now I'm gonna go get coffee with you. Now while I'm at coffee, if I figure out you're a bozo, you have no life, you have nothing to live for.
But wait, dinner
should be the second date.
Hold on, wait, but I agree with that.
I'm with
But
that.
To say that it depends on where you're. So for me, after listening to all of y'all, it dwindles down to where the first date is. That's why I don't put that expectation on men. If men tell me, "Oh, let's go to the bar and grab a drink," I don't drink. But if you want, I can grab water and you can whatever. If you want to spend your first date, doesn't have. And women kill me when they're like, "You gotta take me to STK. You gotta take me to." That's your preference. If I'm not. Listen, women out there, if that's y'all thing, that's y'all thing. But for me, a first date, you're expecting a man to spend an X amount of money on you. And I feel you, Gio, when you say what's reciprocated, especially on the first date. So for me, it ties into where the location of the first date, what are we doing? And it doesn't have to be no cheap date. I'm not even talking about that. Put some effort in it to let me know that you're interested in me. It's a vibe. Let's go. Let's talk. I like to talk. The first date is you're meant to get to know each other. So I don't want to go nowhere where it's loud, dancing, money, all this. No, do something simple that you don't have to break your pockets. That if you spend $20, you're not mad because you wasted your money with me because it wasn't a vibe, and then we go from there.
Right.
I got a married person question. Sorry, married person, old person question. Right? Sorry. No question. So how do first dates for millennials happen? Because in my head, I'm like what you said, Britt, and what you said, Asia, are two whole different scenarios, right? What you said, Asia, is I'm out and about and whoa, I'm attracted to you. Hey, I'm gonna shoot my shot. Instead of asking you for, we're grown. Like when I was 18, I would ask you for your number, right? Now that I'm 30, I would only assume, can we get coffee? Like, let's exchange information. Let's get coffee, right? That's the very first interaction. We ain't had no texting. We ain't had no lead up. But what Brittany was talking about may be like, we had coffee, and I know you're not a bozo. I know you're not weird. I know you're not crazy. And I want to take you out on a date. I want to show you who I am. I want to whine. I want to put some effort into this.
Put forward.
Yeah.
I know that you like me at this point.
Right.
Right. Like I don't know that it's something here. Or at least I know that it's past a random. We can like each other, or we could just be you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think it's a matter.
If I'm planning something, that means that we have had some conversation where I know it's not platonic. Whether it's on the phone or texting, I know that like we are into each other.
But part of it.
I'm not doing none of that if I don't know that. I'm taking you to coffee somewhere in the daylight because shit, you might be as crazy. Like, you know, we $5-10, you know, a cup of coffee. I'm cool with spending $25. I spent $50 a lot worse than figuring out if I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll say it's this, like from somebody who's dated recently, like obviously in a sooner time than you. It's about the expectation sometimes that the men before us have put into that woman. So I've had women who've been like a coffee date, that's a real date, like almost insulted me like I was broke because I didn't want to, but she didn't even hear my reason. It's like, hey, maybe I want to go somewhere quiet where I can actually have a conversation with you instead of just being like, oh, well, my last dude took me here, there, why you can't do that? You know, so I think it's a combination of the
red flag.
We put.
I listen to signals.
Yeah.
You damage.
Facts.
We go to here's the therapist, right? Boom.
Facts.
it's time to go. You get the comparison thing now. That's not what we.
Yeah, I would say that goes
Exactly.
on your side because yeah. But I think to answer
I
your
think
question,
harmony. Harmony.
but I think, but even think about that, right? So I feel like with millennial dating sometimes, Kev, to answer your question, I think it depends, right? So sometimes there might be someone that you've seen around the office, right? That you've had just casual interaction with, right? Now, if that person does approach you because now they're interested or they see the way you carry yourself around the office or whatever the case may be, then yeah, you can still plan, right? It's like, hey, let's maybe grab lunch today. That's still planning to some capacity, right? To Britt's point, it does depend on the setting, right? And the circumstances surrounding it. Just like in the same way, now dating apps are a thing, right? Even you got people meeting with all types of, what's the thing y'all be trying to tell me about? It's like a radio, but you on the Clubhouse. There we go.
Oh,
Even like Clubhouse, right? You could see somebody and or hear somebody that you're like, damn, like they're an intellectual. I like that. The next, you know, I don't know how Clubhouse works, but can you DM people on that or no? Okay. Either way,
yeah.
let's say you have a private conversation with that person, right? Long story short, you might have a level of interest there, right? So now it's like, okay, now let's actually take this to the next level. That could still be at a small coffee shop or a small cafe or whatever the case may be. So I think planning can go in at any level. And I think when it comes down to millennial dating, there's just, the world has become smaller. So I think there's just various ways that you can meet people. Like I have heard, and in my personal life, long distance relationships happen more often now than I think. Like when I was younger, I would have never.
Right.
And I was
Because
in
you didn't have
a
access.
2.5-year relationship that was long distance, you know? So I think that's how, so it's interesting how the dating scene is now. But yeah, but I think it can work if you want it to work. I think first dates look differently for which stage you are in your life, for what you get out of that next relationship. Because if you're just dating to date, cool. If you're dating to find somebody, that might look a little bit differently too.
Yeah.
I would say.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it also depends on your past experiences and what you may have allowed back then and versus what you accept now, what your standards are today. So I know, speaking from my point of view, I was married and I am now divorced and I am now in the dating scene or whatever. And so I know that for my exes and my ex-husband, what I will no longer accept. And so because of that, because I've set these new standards and I carry myself to a different level, I now attract the men that are what I want. So, you know, I don't, and this is no diss to men who may not live up to it, but I don't attract a man who is thinking about, well, is she gonna pay 50-50? You know what I'm saying? The guys that I attract now, it's like, well, money isn't an issue. So they're not even considering like, well, what is she going to give me in return? I had a gentleman tell me that, hey, and this was actually from a dating app, new because COVID, you know, and he wanted to meet up and kind of, you know, go on a date and everything like that. And he said straight up, my time is limited because I'm always working and I have to fly back and forth. He's like, money isn't an issue. I really want to find somebody that I can take out, that I can buy things for, that I can have a relationship with. Just know that my time is small. So his way of like showing like, hey, I do care. I may not be able to show it in time, but I can show it in gifts and I can show it in, you know, money isn't an object, right? So there are situations like that. And those are the type of, I don't like to put anybody in a position that they feel uncomfortable or they feel like they're being forced or they feel like, you know, why do I have to pay for this and you're not paying your half or whatever. I don't even deal with that. I go straight for the person who it's not an issue for them. But that's just me and my situation. And I understand that doesn't necessarily work for other people. And again, I don't like to force it on you. If that's something that you do, cool. If it's not something that you do, and it may even be like out of your league, whatever, that's fine too. We can be friends. You're just not for me and what I'm looking for right now because of the standards that I've set for myself.
So let me ask you this question then. So,
absolutely.
Like I don't never look at it as a waste, right? It's always a lesson that you learn, right? But you start to set these standards, right? So
Mhm.
if I'm taking you on all these dates, right, like this man said, money's no option. That could change tomorrow. So now this
It
man is
absolutely
creating,
can.
this man has, and we create this idea that, oh, I can do all these things monetarily.
Mhm.
And, but as a man, we want to know that we're going to be held down regardless if the money's there, if the money's not there.
Yeah.
So like when we want things reciprocated, it doesn't always have to be like, again, we want to know that like you're just as much invested in this as us, because my money could be gone tomorrow and I can have to start over from scratch. Are you
Absolutely.
going to be strong enough to help me rebuild back what I used to have because I don't have anymore because you're used to it? You know,
I
we
think
see
that's
something.
a conversation that I would have to have with the person. I think open communication is the biggest thing. And if that's the level that we're on, if that's the discussion that we're having, if that's where we're trying to meet, then fine, we get to it when we get to it. But at that present moment, if what you've told me, this is what I'm offering, and I've accepted that, then that's where I'm at. But I will cross that line when I get to it if we're even at that point of being exclusive.
And I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Kev, back me up. Maybe I feel like any man who leads with money is not an option doesn't have much more to offer to you outside of money.
I disagree.
Because
I would challenge here. I would say that no matter how much money a man has or how much money a man can put towards something, unless that man has a social and emotional disorder, that man definitely wants quality time, right? So he will make a way. He will fly you out. He will, if money's not an option, you will be with him, right?
And that's what he mentioned.
You know,
So
like
that
if
was something that was talked about, was like,
yeah,
we can go on trips here or whatever, as long as it was like a personal trip and not like business related. If he was out because he didn't have time, it was because he was out on a business trip. But if he wanted to like fly me out there, then he was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like, and that's
so that wasn't it.
I think that there's a level of financial security, right? Where it's like my money won't necessarily, all my money won't be gone tomorrow, right? So like there's some shit that can happen where I might not be as flexible and we may not be in Greece, but we're good, right? But then there's like, and I think at that level, it's always time. I just was listening to the Khaled album just came out. We say time is money, but money can't make time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. So any man, I'm telling you, any man, no matter how much money he got, if there's not time allocated to you, there's a problem. That's a flag, no matter what. And I'm saying that even if if I fly you out to destinations, right, and it could seem to you as if I don't have anything to do and this is a free time, if you're only coming to destinations, it's a problem. If money is just really tough because money mimics a lot of shit in our environment, in our world. But the one thing, and I tell people this all the time, one thing about me, I can lie to you and say anything to you as a man. And I'm not like, like anything. I'm not a psychopath, but I can damn near do anything and not feel it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for spend my time. I can't. There's no way that you can be in my space if I don't vibe. Like even if it's just a matter of smashing you, like it's just for that. And after that, we can't even spend 30 more minutes. You got to go. So you gotta like be really, for me.
Well, and I think that's part of the communication that you have with that person. You guys have to set those expectations of what is it that you're looking for up front.
Yeah,
up front. Because if the time is a factor, or a factor for him, and I'm not really trying to like, if that doesn't faze me, then we're on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's just looking for company when he can have company, and I'm thinking, oh yay, I can potentially make this man my husband, then we're not on the same page.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then whose feelings are gonna get hurt? My feelings are gonna get hurt because I had an expectation that he clearly said otherwise. So I'm very strong with, you have to communicate that. Be upfront. It's not like, we're adults. Don't be scared to say what it is you're here for, and let me make that decision on whether or not I'm game for it. You know, so if you're like, listen, I'm not here for a relationship.
That's the one.
That's the one right there.
Hey, that's the one right there, bro.
If
you're here and you're like, I'm not trying to have a relationship, I'm just looking for something
No,
casual, whatever. That's being upfront, and from that point, I can be like, okay, I'm down with that, or you know what, I appreciate your honesty, but that's not what I'm here for.
That's where, so that's where I think most men go wrong, right? I think most men in so many circumstances go wrong with a lack of honesty, because they're fearful of what they would say if they were her, right? Like, you wouldn't go for that shit, but you might go for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it becomes the level of honesty.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, and especially like in my like, you have to be honest.
Mm-hmm. That's the old saying. You ain't got a lot to kick it.
You ain't, come on, bro. That's so real. Because the truth is, there is somebody that is cool with everything you truly desire.
Yes.
Facts.
Somebody for that. And it's up to you to find that, right? And most times we're so conditioned by society that we tap out, or we like, oh, I'm gonna take, and feel like we gotta have this whole other life somewhere else. You could have maybe had that if you was honest.
You would have just opened your mouth. Yeah.
You would have just said, I want this. You might have got that.
Yep. You gotta set boundaries. You gotta set boundaries from the
beginning. Do, and stay firm to them. Don't waver in them because you want to make the other person feel comfortable. If that's the boundary that you have, if that's the standard that you have, hold firm to that, and you will find somebody that is going to exactly. So, I wholeheartedly believe in being. I'd rather you be honest with me than you sit there and tell me what you think I want to hear to get what you want. And then in the end, I get played because I thought something.
Low-key, you don't know if I'm on the same page as you. I could be, out here trying to have fun just as much as you are. So if
that part.
Just be honest.
That part.
Boundaries, establish what it is and keep it moving. You know, that's super important.
And I think
women are way smarter than us, and they know way sooner what they want before we do, right? So like, bro, be honest, and she may teach you something.
Yeah.
In
the same way, women, I think, because Kevin, your point was like, well, amongst other things, but like, men be honest. And I think women have to be honest too, because we will say, oh yeah, no, I'm cool with just kicking it. Meanwhile, we don't the whole wedding.
Want a whole relationship.
Okay.
This is my husband.
Y'all might, here's the truth. Y'all might be so okay with what the situation is until you get with your homegirls and the situation is what it is, and you feel away because the situation ain't what theirs is, and now you want to fuck up your situation that you was totally cool with because there's something.
Oh, I've seen it all on all sides. I've seen women lie to themselves, saying they cool with something. I've seen women knowing and have never been cool with certain things, and because it's a guy that she does not want to lose, right? Then now she's compromising her non-negotiables. Yeah. And I've also seen it where it's like, oh, so everybody pregnant now? Oh, so everybody getting a ring? Okay, well, maybe I need to switch something up and do what y'all are doing, even though I was perfectly okay before, Kev, to your point, being single and just having fun and getting free meals and all this kind of stuff. But now I feel like I'm missing out on something, right? I'm going to be that's fine. So I think all around, we all need to be honest. Yeah.
That's that pressure of, like, especially with social media, how you can see everybody's everything going on. And you start to feel that like unnecessary competition or something, like it's a race, and it really isn't. It really isn't a race. That's why I'm so low key when it comes to stuff like that. I don't post. I mean, I post what I want you to see, or I post what I'm gonna allow for other people to make assumptions off of. But when it comes to like my dating life and stuff, I'm very low key. I popped up married when I was younger, and people were like, "I didn't even know you were dating." Yeah, because it's not your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to put that into people's face, and I don't put my relationship online and then I'm running back to him and we're not together and then we're back together, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff is nobody else's business. So when you start to make it people's businesses by putting it online, and then your friends or whatever or whoever start to feel like, oh, I need to compete with that person, you know, I guess it sucks, but that's what it is. You just feel the pressures of everybody else, you know, at a certain age, like, oh, I should have been there at this age.
Mm-hmm.
But am I really there?
That's a whole
facts.
That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother episode, because we can go on and on about that. Those false narratives that people, you trying to, you know,
have a kid by this age and be married by this time and
living other people's.
Don't do it. If you're under 28, don't even consider it.
Man, 42, don't even
Yo, if you ain't 28, my man, I'm gonna say this to all of your listeners. If you're a young man, and you're a Black young man especially,
listen, fellas,
you are under 28 years old, and you have not seen a therapist for at least 4 months, do not consider marriage, my brother.
Yeah.
This man is like an infomercial.
That's what.
Call 1-800. Get your shit together first.
Yeah, I agree. I would not have gotten married as.
I'm serious. What me and my wife have had to go through, and like just the healing
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Do yourself a favor. Heal yourself first. 28, you know.
I
4 months of therapy.
I can't say that I agree with that. I mean, I didn't get married at that age. I got married at what, 30? But I got married at 20. My brother is 28. He got married at 26. I don't know. He got married in his 20s. And I just feel like he was mature enough to know what he wanted. He was with this woman for a very long time. He started a family after marriage. And I can't really say like wait till after 28, because I watched him and they went through some stuff now. It wasn't all peaches and cream. Everybody
That's
goes
the part.
Stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the part. It's not just, it's the therapy. It's this. Some people have less to heal from, right? Some Black males have less to heal from. All Black males have healing to do, right? So all of them. I'm going to say, where you from? Okay. So but I'm saying 28 because it takes a level, there's a life experience that you may want to go through. And we don't come up in a world where endurance is really that prevalent, right? We're not taught, we don't practice endurance. We don't practice how to go through some shit.
I'm about to say,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
be honest, most
of
it.
I'm out. You know, like if you get married before 28, just know who you marry is not who you gonna be with forever. And if you're not willing to change completely that shit and go through a completely whole new thing, you're going to 100% chance of Rain get divorced. If you wait to after 28, you might be a grown-ass person to potentially be a whole human being before you get married. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe. That's just my take on it.
I mean, like, let's be honest. It's not every situation. Not every
right,
situation
not
is gonna have. Yeah, not every situation is gonna have that, you know, that combativeness where we're not getting along, we're gonna get divorced. It does work for some people, but there are a lot of people that it does not work for. So those like first 3-5 years of marriage, you are really truly learning who the hell I just married. And sometimes it's a lot harder, especially when you're younger and you're still trying to figure out who you are and you're still going through life and understanding not just yourself, but now this person. It can be difficult. I know for my situation, it was very difficult. I stepped into a role fully ready to accept that I was a married person, and my ex-husband was not ready. My ex-husband was still a child, you know what I'm saying? And so I spent not only my time trying to figure out myself, but trying to figure out him, and he don't even know himself. You know what I'm saying? So it was a struggle.
Man, Black men, I promise you, if you're watching this show, wait. Like go if you don't want to wait, go to a therapist first.
Yeah,
And
that.
really deal with your mental health, right? Like
I
really
was
go
married
to
to a
therapy.
Spanish man, so y'all go get therapy too.
Yeah,
But
if you got
but
melanin in
let's
your
be
body,
fair. But
Everybody,
let's be fair. It's just not just black men. It's everybody. We
that's what I'm
all
It
need
saying.
is. It is.
everybody, go
I
get
would
because
say that.
a therapist.
because people here, relationships take work, and nobody wants to put the work in. Like
Oh,
there's
yes.
easy
They
work,
think
there's
it's just
hard work.
butterflies.
Yeah, and there's easy work, there's hard work, but it's still all work. Some
Mhm.
you got your good days, your bad days, and you
Don't say
can't just
really
run.
fun.
Huh?
Shit, years. You may have your
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
year. You know
Facts,
what I'm saying?
facts.
Yeah.
Like,
And you can't just run
Yeah.
at the first sight of it not going the way you want to. You got to be
Yeah.
able to have somebody that you're willing to stick that stuff out with, and that's where like even kind of the double back that 50-50 for us, me as a man comes into play. Like I don't care if you spend your money. I want your love, your compassion. I need you to be that person that when shit gets hard on me, I can trust you to make me feel like it's gonna be better. You know what I mean? That's where your 50% comes back in. Not for the things that I'm willing to give you, but for the things that you're willing to give back that I need that I can't give myself.
A peace of mind.
Yeah, and I think it's
so,
important to highlight too that 50-50 doesn't always, like y'all have been saying, have to be monetary. I think when you're in a relationship, you're living with someone. If a woman cooks and cleans, for perfect example here, we may split certain bills. We have joint account, separate account, whatever that we did that works for us through therapy
Mhm.
on our financial situations before we got married. Aside from that, aside from him dishing out money where he needs to dish it out. If I cook and I clean, he likes doing the dishes. That's his thing. Most men don't, but he does. If I cook and I clean, I mean, if I'm cooking, I'm putting my daughter to sleep or whatever it is in my household, and he decides to do the dishes, like to me, that's a 50-50 balance. That's
Absolutely.
okay, I see you giving this much. Where can I help you? Where can I balance you? I think that gets lost in translation with, okay, a lot of women are like, or even men, like if I pay the bills, if I'm paying rent, this and this, you have to sex me down. You gotta cook, you gotta clean, you gotta do this. And it has to be, that's how it's reciprocated evenly if I'm not giving monetary. But I don't know how I feel about that. Because it's just,
if I pay all the bills, you pay for the vacations.
You got to be honest. You got to be honest because that might be what his reciprocation is, right?
Exactly.
And that might be what he looks for and expects. So he may share that with you, right? And that may be what it is. But I think that we need to, and we say this in a way, and I know everybody, all of the 5 perspectives, the 3 queens and the 2 kings, I know we all agree. So when I say this, I'm going to be the corny one for saying it, but we all agree. It's normalizing 100-100, not 50-50, right?
Yes.
Because you normalize 100-100, then you don't keep record, right? Because like I'm an athlete. I might have to carry the team this whole fucking game. The whole game. And it might suck for me, but as long as we win, cool.
That's all that matters.
Right? Like, cool. But it becomes like, it's like, man, I might carry us for the first and second, and it's 50-50. I'm gonna expect you to carry. No, I'm gonna tell you, my wife has sickle cell, right? So just yesterday, I was in the hospital until 5 o'clock this morning, right? Just this morning. I was listening the very first time I went to the hospital with her, Creflo Dollar. I hate that shit, but he was on the TV, right? And he said something that changed my life. I needed to hear it. He said, in a marriage, you don't ever worry about what the other person is doing. You got to bring your whole full self 100 no matter what. And at the moment that you no longer are willing to give 100% of yourself, you need to leave. That was the fact. So when I thought to myself, like, damn, okay, like you said, Gio, I know my journey, 13 years. I started out as an employee, a good one. I made a lot of money and I lost it all because I went to start my business. And everything that you said, Gio, about what you need and you want was a fact. My wife didn't let me quit. Even when we lost our 3,000 square foot, our nice ass cars, we lost all all that shit. But she said, even if you got a job tomorrow, it'd take fucking 3 weeks to get a check. You need to make something happen now. That let me know, like, you with me. Like, we understand what this is. And so going back to what you're saying, you have to set that expectation. Like, you have to. Yeah. You have to. I know a lot of people say expectation is like the catalyst to disappointment, but without expectation, motherfucker, you're guaranteed to be disappointed.
Period.
Because that's a lie if you're trying to say you don't have an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so inside of any relationship, it's 100, 100. My job is to make sure you're motivated to give me 100, right? I need my 100, got to make sure it motivates you to give 100. If for whatever reason, I don't motivate you to be the best fucking version of yourself that you can be on the planet, we don't need to be together, period. Because we both are settling, and who are we showing up for everybody who's watching us? Our kids, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, my kids might have to see me fucking coping with your ass instead of being the man that I'm supposed to be. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I can go on forever, but 100 is what's required for success. If you do anything less than that, 80-20, your ass gonna find yourself getting cheated on, played on, or just in an open relationship. Let me say it like that. You just gonna have to be cool with a motherfucker getting whatever they need from somebody else.
Yeah, and that's that on that. So basically, make sure you heal yourself, right? And then make sure y'all are growing together. You're coming into it 100, 100. And if that means you got to split the bills 50-50, right? Or whatever the case may be, at least you would both be giving it whatever y'all need to give to support one another, right? To build one another up, and not compromising yourself in the midst of that. But basically, this has been another episode of Small Talk. You already know. Tonight, 3 queens, 2 kings, 5 perspectives. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.